What are your thoughts on Kamala Harris running for president?
All right, so listen, here's the deal. I understand that Joe Biden got the boot and that Kamala Harris is now being propped up by the Democratic Party to be the nominee for the Democratic Party as a president. The scariest thing to me is that people are actually considering voting for Kamala Harris, right? And when I start asking people, why are you voting for Kamala Harris? I hear one of two things. Well, I don't like Trump. Basically, it's Trump derangement syndrome. They hate Trump so much because they've been fooled by the media about who Trump is and what he does. And I get it, man. There might be some moral stuff about Trump that you don't align with. But I'm not saying you should have Trump raise your kids. I'm saying that Trump is the best bet for our country. But let's leave Trump out of this for now. So one, it's either I hate Trump, so I'm voting for Kamala. Or two, it's I'm voting for Kamala because she's our first black, she's going to be our first black woman president.
That as well, yeah.
Biggest problem with that is, up until like 2 years ago, she kept telling the whole world she's Indian because she's half Indian, half Jamaican. And her dad is either half black or half Indian or half whatever.
I was going to say, she's not half because her dad's half.
Yeah.
So she's like 25.
She's 25.
Which not saying that doesn't make you black, but it's just,
Right.
Yeah.
We're not going to sit here and split hairs, but the bottom line is this. She's retarded.
She's 100%.
I'm going to look down the barrel of the camera right now and say Kamala Harris is retarded. She's bad for this country. If you want inflation to continue, if you want the cost of living to still be fucked up where you can't afford anything, if you're considering selling your booty on the streets and you're like a mom or a dad and you're like, I can't believe I have to resort to prostitution as a grown ass man because look, she's going to carry what Joe Biden did to a whole new level because she believes in the Marxist communist way. When I say she believes, that her puppeteers believe all that, right? If you think about what she did in California when she was the attorney general here in California, she has the record for putting more black men in jail for small, tiny amounts of weed, right? And then instead of letting them serve half the time, a quarter of the time, she wouldn't let them out because these black men were the lowest form of like almost unpaid. So they were like the lowest form of employees available to the government. So in terms of like doing infrastructure work and all this stuff, like they're getting cheap labor out of them. So if she's now all of a sudden claiming black, when up until this point she was claiming Indian, right? And there's even like stuff out there on TV that shows her like saying that she's got Indian heritage, etc. And race shouldn't even be a part of it. One, she can't even articulate her words. She can't put a string of thoughts together. She has no policy that she's running on. All she's running on is like gender and race, which is a stupid thing to be running on in 2024 when people just want America to put America first again. And we want to have money to spend on our families and our food and be able to not think about selling our bodies for fucking sex as a grown ass man, right? And when you think about a great option, if you're truly like, hey, I want a woman to be president one day, we'll get that opportunity. And hopefully that opportunity will come in the form of Tulsi Gabbard. Like anyone watching or listening to this, go look up Tulsi Gabbard. She's Samoan background. She's a congresswoman of 8 years from Hawaii. She is educated, well-articulated, has policies that she believes in. She was part of the Democratic Party until recently when she decided to become an independent because she saw how corrupt both the Democrats and the Republicans are, and they are. And so she's become independent. She served in our military and was like in combat areas, both in Afghanistan and Iraq, or maybe it was Iraq and Syria. But she worked in like the medical tents, like worked on people who were like blown up and shot up and stuff. Like there's a true patriot, a woman, Samoan, so a woman of color and of ethnicity who truly believes in this country. Kamala Harris doesn't do any of that, man. She was in charge of the borders, according to Biden. Our border is just fucking overrun by illegal aliens left and right. She doesn't even know where Ukraine is. There's a video of her trying to explain where Ukraine is. Ukraine is a country out in Europe. It's next to another country, attached to another country. Like, shut the fuck up. Countries are touching, bitch. Like, that's what countries in Europe do. They touch. Like what the fuck? What are you, third grader? Like trying to explain what a country is? And
have you seen the video of her talking about the border? The guy interviewing her is like, okay, so he's asking about the border. He says, so you've been down to the border? And she like freezes and she's like, well, I haven't been to Europe either.
Right.
And he's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, she'll just say stupid shit. Yeah, and then she'll go into one of her hysterical cackles. But I've seen that exact video. He's like, well, like, you're in charge of the border. Like, right. The President Biden said, like, this is what you're going to do. and the border is being overrun. You've never been down to the border. And she's like, well, I've never been to Europe either. What's your point? The point is, if I'm in charge of something and I'm the leader, I want to go see firsthand what the hell is going on. I want to talk to the people that are working the border and say, what do you think the solution is? Because I don't know what the solution is, but maybe you guys do. And then I'm going to create a cabinet and say, all right, guys, we're going to, based on what they told us the solution is, we're going to start creating solutions to this problem that exists. She did none of that because they just want the border to be porous. They want to keep pumping out money to Ukraine and Palestine or fucking Ukraine and Israel. And look, man, I'm all for helping the world, but we got to help ourselves first. It's America first. And her agenda, because she's got no agenda, is all about dismantling and destroying the United States as we know it. And if you love your Constitution, if you love this country, she will spend the next 4 years shitting on it to a point where she will make Joe Biden look like a fucking desirable president. Hey guys, quick interruption to the show. Let me tell you all about the Keuilian Wellness Shot. If you're like me and you care about your health, hydration, and building a strong immune system so you can stay active and you can get after it in life, then you want to try the Keuilian Wellness Shot. I used to take 11 different supplements in the morning, things like vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin B12, echinacea, ginger, and a whole bunch more. Now it's all included in the Keuilian Wellness Shot. I want to send you a 30-day supply for 50% off. Just go to Keuilian.com, use the code word Bedros, my name, to get 50% off. You'll also get free shipping. You get a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee, and $1 of every order goes to Shriners Children's Hospital. And when you use the code word Bedros and do the subscribe and save, which is a Keuilian Tribe program, every month you'll get a fresh supply of Keuilian Wellness Shots for an additional 20% off and free shipping, and $1 of every monthly order will go to Shriners Children's Hospital. So go to Keuilian.com, use code word Bedros, and take advantage of this amazing offer. Now back to the show. Or you can vote for Trump like you should, and he may not be the most morally fucking accurate person on the planet, but he is the person who will gain respect for us on the political spectrum from countries that are looking to destroy us, like Iran and North Korea, fucking China, number one. Number two, he will put America first in terms of keeping the money back in here in the United States instead of giving it out to fucking countries that we shouldn't even be supporting right now. And number three, the border. Like, he'll close the border off again. I'm an immigrant to this country. I'm an alien to this country. I came in here legally back in 1980. There's a process to come into the United States legally. Everyone should do that, because when you come into a country legally, you value that country. I just got back from Australia 2 weeks ago, and I was talking to some people there, and all the places that I went, Brisbane, Melbourne, Sydney. And I'm like, hey, tell me about your immigration laws. They're like, in fact, if you're over the age of 50, Bedros, it's even hard for you to immigrate here, because they're like, you're not going to be old enough to work here long enough to contribute financially to our country. Mm-hmm. So we don't want you to just come here and suck and take from our country. Well, that's what we're allowing to do here. Like, why don't we adopt some of Australia's immigration laws? You know, I'm not for how Australia treated people during the pandemic, but I am all for how Australia looks out for Australia first and their people first. And so, man, there's so many things that Kamala is going to do to shit on this country, and she's so bad to Black Americans anyway. She just does so much history on that. Again, when she was the district attorney here in Southern California, or in California, there was a dude who was on death row. And finally evidence was that she put on death row, right, as a district attorney. But then evidence was produced that would prove him innocent. Mm-hmm. She kept blocking that evidence from being shown into the courts. Finally, the courts above had to take her out of the equation so that the evidence would go into court, and then sure enough, he was freed off of death row. Like, she wanted to protect her reputation so badly that she was willing for a man to die. Mm-hmm. Like, what the fuck, dude? That's the person that's going to run this country? Do not believe it 1 second, man. She is bad, bad, bad. And as I said 2.5 years ago on Instagram, and everyone called me a fucking racist and said that I'm a bad human and I'm sexist, I said Kamala Harris is our country's first DEI hire at the highest level, as in at the time, as in for a VP. And she was, because all Joe Biden said was, before he had picked a vice president, he said, I'm looking for a female, and I'm looking for a person of color. Well, why not back then pick Tulsi Gabbard? Mm-hmm. Because they knew that Tulsi Gabbard would not toe the line.
Yeah, not even that. And this is coming from a Black person, obviously, like, why are we hiring off of that anyways?
Bingo.
Like, why not the most qualified person? Like, let's just say it happens to be another white person, like, Like,
Simple.
I just want to get our situation back in order. Like, this is crazy.
Bro, that's it. People deserve to have money left over in their bank accounts after the month is over. People deserve to be able to go on a vacation. You deserve to buy gas without going broke. You deserve to get a decent like shopping cart full of food from the grocery store without like maxing out your credit card. Credit card debt is at an all-time high because people are leaning on their credit cards because their own personal income is not enough. Like, this is all a byproduct of this Biden-Harris administration. And so she's a horrible person. I will die on that hill. And anyone that says, well, I'm a racist and I'm this and I'm that, I say wait until Tulsi Gabbard eventually runs for president, and I believe she will, and vote for her. I know I will when the time comes. But for now, Trump is the best decision that we have, and that man literally took a bullet for democracy because he's a billionaire. He has no reason to run for president. And let's say people are like, yeah, but he did because he wants to take advantage of this country and get even more rich and blah, 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 and have bigger connections. And so when you're president, you can pull more strings. All right, well, after being shot at and shot in the ear, literally in an attempted assassination, if that was his intention, just to get richer and take advantage of the country, to basically rape the country, if that was your intention, he would have been like, you know what? I'm fucking out. I'm an old dude. I'm a billionaire. I'm going to go spend my money and live my life with my family. I've got generational wealth. He really gives a shit about the United States, which is why he took that bullet and came up with blood on his face, yelling, fight, 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 and why there will probably be more assassination attempts on him. And he truly believes that he is going to do the right thing for the country. And I believe he's going to do the right thing for the country. And him taking a bullet and still staying in the race proved that to me.